Welcome to Fresh Path, where we guide you through life's challenges with clarity and insight. Relationships are built on trust, the glue that holds two people together. Trust is not just a word, it's a foundation that gives relationships meaning, stability, and strength. But what happens when that trust is shattered? What happens when the very foundation of your relationship begins to crack? The pain of betrayal can leave deep emotional scars, creating confusion, self-doubt, and even fear. Cheating is one of the most painful experiences anyone can endure in a relationship. It's not always loud or obvious. More often than not, it starts subtly. Little things begin to change, things you may not notice at first. A sudden lack of communication, unexplained absences, or unusual behavior can make you question your partner's intentions. It's these small, seemingly insignificant shifts that can leave you feeling like something is off, but you can't quite figure out what it is. Today on Fresh Path, we're uncovering 15 signs someone might be cheating in a relationship. These red flags will help you trust your instincts, protect your heart, and see through deception. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to safeguard your future. Let's dive in. Your path to clarity starts now. 1. Emotional distance. One of the earliest and most telling signs of cheating is a noticeable emotional distance between partners. Relationships thrive on emotional connection. Sharing thoughts, dreams, and feelings creates a bond that strengthens love. If your partner used to ask about your day, listen attentively, or share their own experiences, but now seems cold or distant, this shift could be a warning sign. They might avoid meaningful conversations or seem distracted when you're talking to them. This emotional withdrawal often happens because they're emotionally investing in someone else. While occasional emotional distance can be caused by stress or personal issues, a consistent lack of interest in your life and feelings might point to something deeper. Second, sudden change in appearance. Physical appearance is often a reflection of how people feel about themselves and their lives. A partner who suddenly starts paying extra attention to their appearance may be doing so for someone else. For instance, your partner might suddenly buy expensive new clothes, adopt a completely different style, or start using a new cologne or perfume. They might also begin hitting the gym regularly after years of avoiding it. Cheaters often want to impress their new romantic interest, and this need for validation drives their efforts to look more attractive. If your partner makes these changes without including you or discussing their reasons, it might indicate that their motivation lies outside your relationship. 3. Secretive behavior. Cheating thrives in secrecy. One of the most obvious signs is when a partner suddenly becomes overly secretive, especially with their phone or social media. For example, they might start taking calls in another room or answering texts in the middle of the night. You might notice that they've set up new passwords or changed the ones you previously knew. If you casually ask who they're texting or why they're acting differently and they become defensive, it's worth considering why they're so guarded. While everyone has a right to privacy, secrecy driven by dishonesty is different and often points to cheating. 4. Unexplained absences. Consistency in routines is a natural part of long-term relationships. When your partner's routine suddenly changes without any clear explanation, it's a red flag. Cheaters often use vague excuses to explain their absences. They might avoid giving details about where they've been or what they were doing. For instance, they could say, "I was just out with a friend," but won't say who the friend is. Unexplained absences often indicate that your partner is spending time with someone else. While occasional late nights or solo outings are normal, frequent and poorly explained absences should make you pause and think critically about their behavior. 5. Changes in communication patterns. Communication is the foundation of any healthy relationship. When your partner's communication patterns shift, it's often a sign that something isn't right. For example, they may stop texting or calling as frequently, or their messages might become vague and lack warmth. This could be a sign they are pulling away emotionally or becoming more distant. You might also notice a lack of effort to share details about their day or listen to you. They could become dismissive, avoid serious discussions, or even get defensive when you bring up concerns. A sudden reluctance to discuss feelings or plans for the future can indicate that their emotional focus has shifted elsewhere. If your partner seems uninterested in your thoughts or seems distracted when you talk, it may be an indication that they are emotionally invested elsewhere. 6. A gut feeling. Sometimes the biggest sign of infidelity is the one you feel in your gut. Intuition is a powerful tool that can pick up on subtle changes your mind might not register. You might feel like something is off, even if you can't pinpoint exactly what it is. Your body often senses when something doesn't feel right, even if the signs aren't obvious. Your instincts are often the first line of defense against deception. They can alert you to things like a partner's unusual body language or an uncharacteristic lack of attention. While it's important not to jump to conclusions, dismissing your gut feeling entirely can leave you blind to real issues. If you feel like something's wrong, don't ignore it. Your subconscious might be picking up on things you haven't consciously noticed. 7. Overcompensating with kindness or gifts. Guilt can drive a cheater to overcompensate in ways that seem out of character. They might suddenly start showering you with compliments, expensive gifts, or acts of affection. This is often done to cover up the guilt they're feeling for their behavior. For example, your partner might buy you something extravagant after disappearing for hours without explanation or plan a romantic evening when their behavior has been distant. This sudden kindness might feel too good to be true because it's often fueled by guilt rather than genuine affection. They may go out of their way to be extra attentive as a way to ease their conscience and distract you from their actions. 8. Accusations of cheating. Projection is a psychological tactic often used by cheaters to deflect attention from their own actions. If your partner suddenly starts accusing you of cheating, even though you've done nothing wrong, it could be a sign they're trying to cover their tracks. This shifts the blame onto you, making them feel less guilty about their own infidelity. These accusations often come out of nowhere and are irrational. They might question where you've been, who you're talking to, or why you're spending time with certain people. This behavior creates confusion, making you feel defensive or guilty when you've done nothing wrong. By deflecting their own behavior, they avoid confronting the real issue at hand. 9. New social circles. Cheaters often form new social circles that exclude their current partner. If your partner suddenly starts spending time with people you've never met and avoids introducing you to them, it could be a sign that something is amiss. They might use these new friends as a cover for their activities, hiding behind these relationships to create space where they can engage in deceitful behavior without being questioned. This shift in social circles can happen subtly at first, but it may soon become clear that your partner is prioritizing these new friendships over their relationship with you. They might seem excited to talk about these people or make excuses for not wanting you to meet them. If you find that your partner is making plans without including you or becomes defensive when you ask about these new social connections, it's a red flag. When a partner begins to emotionally invest in people outside the relationship, it often signals a disconnect or possible infidelity. 10. Lack of physical intimacy. A sudden decline in physical intimacy is one of the most telling signs that something is wrong in a relationship. If your partner begins avoiding physical contact, making excuses, or seems disinterested when you try to initiate intimacy, it could suggest that their emotional and physical needs are being fulfilled elsewhere. Physical connection is a key component of a healthy relationship, and when it diminishes without any apparent reason, it often indicates a deeper issue. This decline in intimacy might not happen overnight, but over time, you might notice your partner becoming distant or hesitant when you try to engage physically. They might become uncomfortable with even simple gestures of affection like holding hands or hugging. Sometimes, a partner may also show less interest in spending time together or may seem more distracted during intimate moments. This emotional withdrawal often results from guilt or shifting priorities. And while the lack of physical intimacy can be difficult to navigate, it's important to address it before it grows into something more significant. 11. Financial clues. Cheating often leaves a financial trail, and this can be one of the more concrete signs that something is off. If your partner suddenly starts spending money on things you haven't been a part of or showing irregular spending habits, it's worth taking note. Look out for unexplained dinners, hotel bookings, or lavish gifts that you haven't received. Cheaters may also go to great lengths to hide these expenses, including withdrawing cash to avoid leaving a digital trace. If you notice your partner becoming secretive about finances, perhaps changing their banking passwords, hiding credit card statements, or having unusual or unexplained transactions, this could be a sign of dishonesty. The financial red flags may include unfamiliar charges that don't match their usual habits, or things like hidden online purchases or subscription services they didn't tell you about. Sometimes partners who are cheating also try to cover up their spending habits by making large purchases for you, almost as if they're trying to make up for their guilty conscience. Financial secrecy often accompanies emotional secrecy, and keeping a close eye on these changes can provide insight into your partner's actions. 12. Frequent mood swings. Cheaters often experience emotional turbulence due to the stress of living a double life, and this can manifest in frequent and unpredictable mood swings. Your partner might be affectionate and loving one moment, and then distant or irritable the next. These mood swings can be emotionally draining, leaving you confused and unsure about where you stand in the relationship. The erratic behavior often stems from the internal guilt and pressure they feel from maintaining their deception. For example, your partner may seem unusually defensive or hostile when you ask questions, even about minor issues, or they might overreact to situations that don't normally bother them. Sometimes, they may even act distant or cold, withdrawing emotionally and becoming less engaged in the relationship. This is often a sign that they are struggling with the weight of their guilt and the complexities of lying to someone they care about. These emotional highs and lows can be difficult to deal with, but they are often a coping mechanism for managing the stress of juggling multiple relationships. If you notice this pattern, it's a clear indication that something is out of balance in the relationship. 13. Inconsistent stories. Lying requires effort, and cheaters often slip up when telling stories, especially when they're trying to cover their tracks. If your partner's explanations don't add up or the details of their events keep changing, it's a strong indicator that they're hiding something. Even the smallest discrepancies in their story can be significant. For example, they may tell you one version of their day, only to later contradict themselves with a different account. These inconsistencies might seem small at first, but they can add up over time. Your partner might claim they were at a certain place, but then inadvertently mention being elsewhere. Or they might try to recall details that don't line up with previous conversations. This is often because maintaining multiple stories takes a toll, and the truth starts to slip through. If you find yourself constantly having to piece together the truth from conflicting details, it's a strong red flag. Trust your intuition and pay close attention to any shifting narratives or illogical explanations. 14. Avoiding future plans. A partner who avoids discussing the future or hesitates to make long-term commitments might be cheating. They could feel uncertain about the relationship's direction due to their infidelity, and this discomfort may manifest when discussing future plans. If your partner used to talk about shared goals, dreams, or upcoming events, but now seems distant or evasive when the topic arises, it's worth taking notice. When someone is emotionally invested elsewhere, they may become reluctant to make plans that involve a long-term commitment. This could range from avoiding discussions about marriage, vacations, or even making future financial decisions together. Your partner might also avoid talking about anything that involves an us mentality or seem disinterested in planning a future together. Their lack of enthusiasm for planning could be because they're unsure of their role in your life or their emotional connection to you. 15. Changes in technology habits. Technology often exposes cheaters, as it provides a digital trail that's difficult to hide. If your partner starts using their phone late at night or becomes overly protective of it, it could signal something is off. You might notice them spending hours on social media, texting constantly, or downloading new apps you're unaware of. These behaviors are often a way to stay connected to someone else while keeping their actions hidden from you. Cheaters often go to great lengths to hide their digital presence, such as turning off notifications, deleting call logs, or using secret accounts. They may be more secretive about who they're communicating with, or avoid answering calls when they're in your presence. Another sign could be sudden changes in their phone habits, like using their phone more often in private, changing passwords, or deleting old messages. If these changes seem out of character or you notice your partner being unusually protective of their devices, it could be a sign of infidelity. It's important to observe these habits, as they often speak louder than words. The behavior outlined in these 15 signs can serve as a wake-up call if you feel something is wrong in your relationship. While these actions alone may not confirm cheating, they can help you identify potential issues before they escalate. It's crucial to approach the situation with clarity and open communication. Trust your instincts, pay attention to changes, and seek the truth before jumping to conclusions. Stay vigilant and remember that you deserve honesty and respect in any relationship. Thank you for joining us on this journey with Fresh Path. Keep seeking the truth and nurturing your emotional well-being.